Hi, I'm back with another video. So today was a request, some celebrity gossip. So I'm gonna take a little bit into the case of YNW Melly. I'm not gonna hold you. I'm gonna get started. And in the beginning, everything is alleged. This is for entertainment purposes only. You can check it out, see if you like it. Did you have some of the same thoughts? I'm going to dig into the cards and see what it's kind of talking about the situation, but be aware I'm not going to dig too deep. So I'm going to start by getting the air clear. Let's cleanse the air and bring in some positive vibes, pushing out the negative. Just going to take a look, see what the cards say. Like I said, I'm only going to go into so much. I don't want anything that I find in the cards to make nobody feel no type of way. But I'm going to be a little nosy and see what they say. I know a lot of people saying like, is he guilty? Is he guilty? Did he do it? Is he guilty? And I feel as though it's a little bit more complicated than yes or no. Oh, almost burned me. Bring in positive vibes, leave out the negative. Remember that everything is alleged. I'm going to tell you what I see. Inspiration. I'm going to light my white candle for purity, clarity. Help us to see the things we need to see. I'm going to allow the cards to paint the picture. See? You know what? I'm going to also put on my glasses. Some of the stuff small. So I like to see some of the things surrounding the YNW Melly case. The cards to show me the things I need to see. up a bit. So for starters, this is a tough decision to make. This is a tough decision to make, and yet a decision still has to be made. It's a very tough decision to make. So one of the reasons is like the evidence. The evidence that is out there is circumstantial. And so even though you can be convicted of circumstantial evidence, this is being presented between a jury of 12. And so that guilty verdict is kind of hard to get because the truth, the truth shall prevail itself. And the thing is, whose truth is it? Because some people are going to believe this way and some people are going to believe that way. But a lack of the truth, a lack of the transparency, a case where only reasonable doubt has to be cast. And so there is something actually working in Melly's favor. Mm, maybe he's going to come home after a certain amount of time. Maybe that life sentence is not going to be the sentence that he gets. Something works in his favor. And it could also be the fact that he's facing the death penalty. And so maybe that death penalty is definitely not, the death penalty is not, definitely not going to go through. He will not receive the death penalty. And with something working in his favor, this is like family dynamic, home, a successful situation. In some sort of sense, maybe he's already got some sort of a news, feeling blessed. His family is there supporting him. It could also mean that, but for sure, facing a death penalty is off the table. He will not be receiving that. And see, this is the thing. The blindfold with these swords, thoughts, they're going back and forth. Did he do it? Did he not do it? Well, let's review the evidence. Well, this says this and that says that. Well, I'm not sure about this because they've created reasonable doubt on that. They can't see, the jury is not going to see eye to eye. And it's going to be hard. It's going to be hard to make a decision. I wouldn't be surprised if there's like another mistrial. There's going to be some stalling. Show me the cards I need to see. So you have the High Priestess in reverse. There's like hidden motives. There's a line of information that hasn't been presented to the jury and probably won't even come out in court. I believe this will be like the prosecution. The prosecution they know something that could work in their favor, but at the same time, if the information is presented, it could taint the jury and it can still cause confusion to where they can't come up with a definite, you're guilty. Hidden motives. And that could also be part of the problem. The prosecution can't really present a motive. In a court of law, you don't need to present the motive for why something happened. You just need to prove that it happened. But when you're dealing with circumstantial evidence and then you're dealing with a jury of 12, it's kind of always best to actually have a motive. And it doesn't seem as if the prosecution is going to be able to come up with a good enough motive. And the one thing, the information that they're holding back, that they're not presenting, they're looking at it in a way, this can go either way if I present this. If I present this information, this could make the jury look at it like, well, you know what? He might not be guilty because of this. The Six of Pentacles. This is a card of giving. It's also can be known as like a card of sharing. It could be things that transpired, like generosity of sharing. Maybe on Melly part, something that he did in his past to receive a favor. Influence, and he's a big influencer. He is a rapper. And so he has a lot of influence on people that they're gonna want to see this played out fairly. So he's gonna be given a fair trial. But there'll be so much confusion within that trial that it's gonna be hard to just for 12 people to just come up with a guilty verdict. I think one of the reasons being is that that guilty verdict consists of a death penalty. And even though I don't believe the jury that is on the case now will be the jury who decides whether or not he lives or dies, but they do decide if he's guilty, and then that will determine his life or death sentence. I think that is a lot to ask from a group of people. And if you ask somebody to determine those things, they want to be sure. So they want to make sure that this is fair. They want to seek justice in a way that they're not wrong about the decision that they're going to make. And so, like I said, there has been reasonable doubt cast throughout this whole trial, and that decision making is going to be very hard for the people. I know some people may look at this like a lack on the prosecution, like they're not doing a good job. And some may look at it the same as the defense. But the way I see it is that both sides are doing a good job. Both sides are doing a good job, and it only makes it harder to make a decision. Can't make this up. Indecision. Can't make it up. So it's like jurors want to go with their gut feeling, but they're indecisive because the facts are just not on the table. The facts aren't on the table, and it makes it very hard to come up with a guilty verdict. And even if there's like one person who just don't find him guilty, that's considered a mistrial. They can't come to an agreement, and again, Melly has something that's going to work in his favor. And that's either he's going to be found not guilty or the death penalty is going to be taken off the table altogether. Put one more card. In Melly's lifetime, he must have done someone a good service. I mean, and that could possibly be the money that he's paying his lawyers to fight this case. But I really feel that, okay, we live life, but there's also things outside of just what we do that has a bigger control over things. And you may have been a great service to something or somebody, in one way, whereas you might be granted a favor later. And it's not coming from individuals per se, but from a greater power. And I wouldn't like to say like somebody's just overlooking murder and just letting you get away with murder. But there are situations in life where sometimes some of the good things you do can outweigh the bad things. He has the service card. Let me check something else. The truth is, we don't know the full story, and we'll never get the full story. It'll never be told to us. It will always be speculation, and as long as it's speculation, it will always be decided by perception, how one perceives it. And so let's just say, and this is just going to be a scenario. If there was something between Melly and these boys, and there was almost a situation to where I got you before you got me, and maybe something between them goes so deep that there were plans already in place to execute or end somebody, and another person got the upper hand first. So it's like, if you saved your life, are you guilty? You are, by the way in which you went about saving your life. But like I said, sometimes when you go deeper and you go above the surface of what you can be granted and what you've done in life, things tend to come out differently. So in Melly's case, I don't know that they had a beef. I haven't seen that there was a proven beef between them. I wouldn't know why he would want to murder his friends. However, he is on trial for it. And the outcome remains to be seen. But what I do see is it's deeper. This situation goes deeper than what's unfolded in this courtroom. And we may never get that truth. We may never get that transparency. We may never get what actually happened because there is no evidence of it. Ooh. The hangman. Right now, he's going through a waiting period. Right now, this is going to be a waiting period. We might even see a continuance within this case. They presented a lot of evidence, but they didn't present the evidence that all of the people needed. The Nine of Hearts. This is the charmer. So he is in entertainment. He's charmed a lot of people. Again, someone feels that there was a great deal of service he given. There's an indecision. They can't make a decision on this. They can't choose whether or not he's a monster. They don't have evidence to say, no, he's not a monster. This was self-defense. So you're stuck confused. These people that will sit in that jury stand, they will continue to be confused. I mean, he's charmed a lot of people. He's an entertainer. And believe it or not, there's a lot of people rooting for him. There's a lot of people just simply don't believe that he would do this. Sorry, I'm getting a call. My bad. King of Cups. Support yourself before you support others. The King of Cups. Again, like I said, this may have been a situation where it could have been flipped around. It could have been flipped around. And he has supporters. He had the bag. He was able to make changes where others couldn't. Two of Clubs. A discovery of some sort of connection made. Somebody in that camp discovered some things and a connection was made. That this whole situation could have been flipped around. And somebody stopped that from happening. Now, was that Melly? If it was, there's no truth to prove it. There's no clarity to clarify that he actually did this. Sharing, caring, gifts, giving, doing for others. Maybe somebody else made that decision. Maybe he knew this was going to happen. It's always a hidden agenda. Maybe it was above him. Maybe he had no control and no say over it. Leads to confusion. I think that is all I will say about that. And we shall see when it comes to the end of trial what they decide. What I can see is he's most definitely not getting a death penalty. It's definitely being taken off the table. There is still time to present evidence. So if the prosecution comes up with the right evidence, there could be a guilty verdict. But whatever is happening within this case, something is working in Melly's favor. And I'm going to leave that right there. Thanks for tuning in. Don't forget to subscribe, hit the like button, bring my numbers up. I'm at 75. I'm still trying to get that 100 goal. Keep me going, share me. Let everybody else know about me. Leave me a comment. If you have suggestions on anything that you might want me to make a video about, put it in the comments. I'll gladly make the video free of charge. Peace.